Hi Christchurch London, hope you're doing really well. I've got some exciting news to share. Next month is our annual gift day. These have always been exciting adventures for all of us who've embarked upon them. And this church has been remarkable in terms of its generosity. In fact, I want to start by just saying a huge thank you to every one of you who've contributed over this last year. It's because of your generosity that we've been able to continue to work for the spiritual renewal of so many lives. We've seen people coming to faith through Alpha. We've been able to strengthen so many through Church at Home and through our Connect groups. None of that would have been possible if it were not for your generosity. It would be the same with the courses that we've put on. And in so many other ways, people's spiritual lives, their love for God is stronger because of your contribution. We've also been able to work for the social renewal of this city that we love, the City of London, and further afield as well. Unsurprisingly, Food Bank has had huge demand. And through the generosity of individuals and through what we've given as a church, so much of that has been able to have been met. But we've also supported organisations that are working with the homeless, that are working with refugees here in London, that are seeking to combat the evil of human slavery, that are supporting and sponsoring orphan children, and that are catering for disaster relief as well. Thank you for your contributions in those ways. And of course, too, we've been able to work for cultural renewal. Not least through the Everything Conference, which we put online last November. We beamed it out across the nation, and hundreds of people were equipped and strengthened for the important work of cultural renewal in this nation. So thank you. This morning in my Bible reading, I read about the church in Corinth, or Paul's writing to the Corinthians, but he's telling on the church in Greece, and he's saying, this church, these churches in Macedonia have been amazing. And as I read those verses, I wanted to say to Paul, don't forget the Church of Christchurch London. They've been amazing as well. A huge thank you for your generosity. And we come now for the middle of next month to a 3-focused gift day. And the first thing that we want to focus on is Food Bank. You know, Food Bank was able to give 3-day packages of meals to 34,000 people over this last year. And we don't think that anybody in London should go hungry, that anybody in London should experience food poverty. And we want to ensure that Food Bank has all the resources it needs this year to continue its very important work, not least with the project manager that we employ 4 days a week. We also want to support Steps. Steps has been such a powerful and exciting course for us to be stewarding together as a church. 48 churches have now gone through, done a Steps course over the last year. It's my personal conviction that this course will almost certainly end up going all around the world, helping people find healing and wholeness. And you don't need me to tell you that there's been an awful lot of brokenness that so many of us have been experiencing in this last year. So we want to make sure that as Steps continues to expand, it's got all the administrative support that it needs to be able to do so. And we want to make sure that this offering will go towards that as well. But thirdly, we feel that it is time now to be thinking and talking seriously about buildings as a church. There's been lots of talk of the exodus from London after the coronavirus pandemic, a talk of the slump of global cities like London. And we don't think that there's any better way to be able to say we love the city and we're here to stay than investing in actual bricks and mortar. In fact, this has been a long-held dream of ours. It's not just to have one property, but many properties across the city. And our prayer for our first property is somewhere which will facilitate prayer and worship, which will facilitate courses and creative projects that will act as a workplace and an office and enable us also to serve the local community. We know that once we have one property, it's a lot easier to get a second and a third. And so, in a sense, we're not too fussy exactly where this property is, as long as it's near to one of our current services. We love all our services. Whichever service we're part of, we carry all the services in our heart as we carry London in our heart. And we know that as we bless one, so all become blessed as a result. Because of your previous generosity and because of our diligent attention to saving as well, we now have a fund of £450,000. And we want to continue to add to that. We feel like somebody who is saving up for their first property, as so many of us have done, are either doing or have done in the past. And we know that the more that we can put aside, the less that we have to borrow, or the better property that we can buy, or both. We have a search ongoing, and we'll be talking more about that in different settings as we go forward. But we'd love you to think about contributing to that as well. We're praying for £150,000 to come from this offering in May, and we would ask you to pray in the build-up in two particular ways. We're asking first that you would pray and ask the Lord what you yourself should contribute. Just as we are doing that, we would ask you to do the same. And secondly, we'd ask you to pray for us as a church, that God would give us everything that we need so that we can be generous in every good work as we seek to work for the cultural, social and spiritual renewal of this city.